Hey, what's up guys, this is Alex from Hypnotech. This video is kind of a little different from what you normally see on our channel. I don't normally like to talk about politics, even though I have strong opinions about politics and certain debates and subjects. We don't really bring it up because it doesn't really directly relate to our channel. You guys don't want to hear about that stuff, at least not for me. But today, the FCC officially repealed net neutrality. And of course, Reddit and Twitter being the reactionary tools they are, there was a lot of wildfire being spread online. One thing mainly that I saw was these fake Photoshop images of Verizon or Twitter or blah blah blah, you being charged this amount of money, this amount of money to use this service, $15 per month to use Twitter, $10 to get online, $5 to use this service. I feel like we really need to talk about this because this does directly relate to us, our channel, our users, our viewers, and me personally. I love technology. I've been using the internet since I was a child. Well, latter half of my childhood in the late 90s. And let me just try to explain this because there's so much misinformation, misrepresentation. I'm not gonna say fake news. That term is overused. Just misunderstanding of what economics are in the United States of America, and eventually, and probably the world, to be honest. Look, the internet has been around for much longer than net neutrality has. Net neutrality was a set of rules set by the Obama administration. And in essence, what President Obama was doing was a logical thing. He was putting safety barriers straight to the point. It's a bad thing that net neutrality was repealed, but it's not the end of the world. And it affects you and me much less than what people are freaking out over. It's not the end of the world. You're not paying $15 for YouTube. You're not paying 99 cents for each Google search. That is ludicrous. It's ridiculous. It's just propaganda, bad propaganda, bad misinformation. Calm down. So net neutrality really has nothing to do with you or me directly. What net neutrality does is internet service providers like Verizon, Comcast, these are places we get our internet from. We pay them a monthly fee, so we have internet service. What net neutrality does is it forces them to have these regulations against content providers, apps that we like YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, Facebook, other things like that. These websites, apps, content providers, people who make content for us to consume, they take up a lot of bandwidth. The internet just isn't there and magically happens. There's logistical things that make it run, right? And obviously they have to pay these service providers and or partner up with them in order for us to get our consumer goods. I mean, you can't magically have all the bandwidth in the world for free, right? You have to pay these companies that work so hard to get these bandwidths and things continuously going for us to consume, right? If no one's managing it, we can't watch the stuff. It's just like electricity, just like running water, right? We need those people in place to manage it. So what net neutrality does is it keeps Verizon and Comcast, the internet service providers, from overcharging or favoritism, using one without the other, charging the other company more money than the other company, or giving them faster speeds than the other. They kept everything neutral. That's why it's called net neutrality. They want everyone to be equal. And if you think about it, isn't that the opposite of capitalism? Opposite of what made American businesses so successful in the first place? You also have to look at it on a business standpoint. America, the United States of America, is a capitalist society, a capitalism economical bubble. And that is how the United States of America got to whatever position we are in the world. You can argue that it's the greatest country in the world, argue it's the richest country in the world. that are factually true or false. It's all subjective in one aspect or another. But you cannot deny that the US has seen a lot of economical success in the past. Every country struggles, of course. But the growth and development of the United States of America, love them or not, cannot be overstated. You cannot overstate that. And that is because it was and always will be a capitalist society. And capitalism at its core needs to rely on businesses. And businesses, middle-class businesses especially, the pillars of the United States right now, and it has been for decades, generations, is middle-class working businesses, private enterprises. Those of you who leave the big companies and start your own little company and strive to make it into a big company. That is what Silicon Valley is all about. That is what private entities here in California are all about. It cannot be overstated. Many of you probably have your own little business and have struggled due to certain tax laws, certain government entities, and there is something called laissez-faire and other things that we hold sacred. We want the right. That's why people originally came to the United States. They wanted the ability to operate, to make money, to have a brighter future without the limitations of government. And so when you look at it that way, net neutrality, in a way, is certain restrictions for businesses. And I understand it in that aspect as well. What you have to understand is you're not going to lose your freedoms because net neutrality has been repealed. What it could eventually do is you're not paying Twitter $14 a month to use Twitter. That's ridiculous. I don't even know how people started thinking that. What it could eventually mean is you might be paying an additional $5 per month. Let's say you pay $35 to, I'm just hypothetically saying, $35 to Verizon for your monthly internet, high-speed internet. Maybe you'll pay $40 and Twitter and YouTube launch faster. That's simply all it is. And if you don't like that, go to another service provider and they might have a different package where YouTube runs a little faster or Google runs a little faster. That is the concern of net neutrality being repealed. I'm not going to say you're not going to suddenly get some charges one day. One company might decide to do that. But smart business, smart capitalist business will dictate the market. There will be other resources that you will migrate towards if you don't want to pay for a service. And then you'll have a new way. And that new market might start charging you too, and then you'll move on to a new one. There'll always be something better coming along. Nothing ever stays the same. And that's basically what net neutrality has influenced us to believe, that we need net neutrality. We don't need net neutrality. Yes, it was a great little buffer, great little protection that Obama installed there, but at the same time, the internet has survived way before that. We loved the internet way before that. We never complained way before that. Net neutrality, all it did was add an ammunition for people to worry. And right or wrong, that is what has happened. And people spread like wildfire, thinking it was like the end of the world. It's apocalypse today. Some of our Twitter news feeds, it's absurd. It's ridiculous. Like, this is the end of the world. I'm sorry if you understand anything about economics, or if you understand anything about businesses, small and big, you have nothing to be concerned about. Life will go on. You as a consumer will have other options. You will never be limited. You will never be stuck. You will always be in control. You as a consumer dictate the market. Always remember that. Always remember, never let anybody, media, professors, or whatever, confuse you, change your opinion about it. You, the consumer, will always dictate the market. Net neutrality or not, you will dictate the market. Just like we killed off cable television, we control the market. Always remember that.